Hey guys, and welcome back to Keeping You in the Loop podcast. Today we are joined by a very special guest. You guys know him as Wolf Raging 95. He is the phenomenon in No Limits 2 on YouTube, a fantastic content creator. So, hi Wolf,
Hello, thank you for having me.
you're
How is
welcome.
everyone?
We're all
You alright,
good.
Wolf?
Yeah, we're all good. And also the co host, goes without saying, Joe from Theme Park Insanity.
Good evening, guys. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you're having a fantastic week so far, and looking forward to getting into it, guys.
So, I just want to say before we start, last week I got off a boat. I was still rocking in my chair, and I just couldn't bring myself to do anything other than try and sleep when I got back from
Yeah,
a holiday. So we apologise for not having a podcast last week. But to be honest with you, quite a bit of news has come out of having that week break. So it kind of
certainly has.
has balanced itself out a little bit. So
Definitely.
we'll go with the first topic then of the podcast, which is Alton Towers going to open again for February half term?
Now, this is a very, very interesting one. Towers Times confirmed that the start date for their brand new staff is going to be the 13th of February. So, bearing in mind that Blackpool Pleasure Beach have their WoW weekends on the 15th of February onwards, does that mean that we're going to be seeing Alton Towers opening for February half term?
Well, I mean, February half term is genuinely around the 15th, same as WoW weekends, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So the start date of the 13th to me seems like um, it could very well be. Now, is it going to be a full half term opening? So are we going to get Nemesis, Wickerman at Spinball? Because really, that's all you get. You
That
don't
is very true,
you
yeah.
don't really get much, or is it just going to be CBeebies Land, Spinball, basically like what they do for the Christmas event?
Exactly, and I was going to say that it could possibly be quite a similar opening to that.
Yeah.
Maybe with the addition of perhaps Wicker Man, sort of to try and draw the crowds in a little bit. It's probably their newest ride, so obviously that would, have the appeal, and it obviously has become quite popular since it opened in 2018. So
Well, yeah, and but the Wicker Man for me though has had lots of problems in cold weather.
it has, yeah, definitely,
Have you seen
and
that Wolf as well? Well, obviously you're an editor on Coaster Gem's Facebook page as well, so you've seen all the news going around.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah,
been down a lot this year.
yeah. And that ride's still newer, correct?
Hmm.
Like that could be also another thing to consider
Yeah,
as well.
absolutely,
They're
because
still
they
trying
had
to figure
problems
something
with it.
out.
Yeah, they had problems with it parking in the station after it initially testing.
Okay.
It was running the block section on the station and triggering the sensors, so it wasn't running properly, basically.
there was a period last year as well where I believe the ride shut down for a couple of weeks while they ordered in some brand new parts.
Yeah,
So again, it's obviously still experiencing issues, but then you got to bear in mind obviously it is still quite a new ride as well. Um, so it's a tough one to call, really, to be honest.
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes.
I think we could possibly have seen it
I
as
think
well.
it's gonna happen, but I don't think it's gonna be a full half-time opening. At a
No,
pinch, Nemesis might open for the last weekend.
certainly hoping so.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
We'll be straight down if that's the case. I absolutely guarantee that would be a bonus visit to Alton Towers for
it,
us.
it would.
Definitely.
We're planning on getting to Blackpool as well, so that's
Yeah,
gonna be good. So
and we'll be joining you for that as well. I
yeah, I
think we're
can't wait.
looking hopefully for the 15th, are we? So that's going to be
Yes,
good.
that's gonna be awesome. So hope we're gonna try and do a video cast on that day as well, guys. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that when it happens. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Absolutely, definitely.
So we were talking earlier before we started off. You had a question from someone.
I did, yeah, so that's correct. So we put out a post earlier on this week, like we did the previous week or before, just basically asking you guys, do you have any questions for us? Now, we had a guy named Michael Wade Moss. Big shout out to you. I believe you quite enjoyed our first cast, so
Yep,
thank you very much for that fabulous feedback. So it's actually a two-part question. So we'll look at these individually, I think, because, two questions is fine by us.
fire away.
So his first question was, in your opinion, what will be the best new coaster of 2020? That's a tough one to call, isn't it?
For the UK, obviously it's Flamingo Land's 10 inversion.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Now going abroad, as my good friend Wolf is in the old United States. What are you looking forward to the most over there, dude?
Well, obviously we have Holiday in the Park at Great America right now, Six Flags Great America. Um, I mean, not too much other than like maybe Jersey Devil, coming up,
That
and
coaster looks absolutely amazing. It really does.
yeah, it was kind of slow with like not as many coasters for 2020, but
Hmm.
kind of a down year, but still exciting. I think there's different things to look forward to. I know that Great America has that new water slide coming. I'm
They
not
do.
too big on the water attractions, but I know some people are. So
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a little cold over this side of the pond, isn't it? To be honest, especially like Valhalla gets soaked wet through, but they're still good fun. So
yeah.
It is. But what do you think about like Iron Gwazi, for example?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think that's gonna be awesome. I don't even know how that slipped my mind, honestly.
RNC
Being that
fanboy over here.
being that we see it all the time on Coaster Gen,
Yeah,
so it's yeah. I think it's gonna be awesome. It looks like it's moving right along with progress. I have some family that live in Florida now, and I
that's
know they
cool.
see it like on the news every now and then and stuff.
Oh, so
So
it's actually hitting mainstream media now. They've got to that stage.
wow.
yes, yeah,
That was pretty
it's hit the
quick.
news I think a couple of times.
Wow.
I mean, to be honest, that coaster looks genuinely immense. I mean, you look at the sheer scale of that lift hill.
That Christmas tree
Did you
looks
see?
tiny though.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you see they actually put that on? That's absolutely epic.
yeah, yeah. I know that when I first saw that tree up there, I really thought it was just photoshopped, but then I saw somebody like as a
Sat there.
guest took a picture. It is up there. It's legit. It's a real thing. It's
I
quite
think to
funny.
most, yeah, I think to be honest, Busch Gardens have also done the same over on Pantheon as well, haven't they? They put a Christmas tree on top of the top hat element, I believe, over in
Oh,
Williamsburg.
Pantheon. Yes, Pantheon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course. Yeah, that park looks incredible. I'd love to get out there. It
I would
looks
as
like
well.
such a. That's the one with the Bolton, right? Is that the right one? I think so.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, the Bolton
Um.
looks fun.
Definitely does. I mean, sort of from our side of things over here, I think Flamingo Land's definitely going to be the one for 2020. I mean, Storm Chase down at Portland's Park does look really good. It's more of a sort of family park.
That park is huge right now. Like what they're doing
really
there at
is.
that park is incredible.
It really is, and I mean the sheer scale of the theming that they're using, and obviously the effort that they're putting into making that area, as
Absolutely.
authentic as possible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a massive investment, for the UK just as much as any other park.
They have a new it's like a sky swinger, right? Something like that. What's it called? It's like
The Cyclonator, it's a gyro swing.
yes, a gyro.
It's
That's a
made,
gyro swing. I couldn't get the.
That's correct. I can't quite remember is it Zamperla, I think it is, that have made it. So it's quite a sort of a different make for a gyro swing, but it does look very, very good. Definitely,
It looks tidy. It looks like a really tidy little thrill ride.
certainly does. I mean, just sort of we're planning to make our first visit down to sort of Portland's Park next year. I think around about May time, I believe. So that should be really good. But it's quite a fair drive from our sort of side, as
Yeah.
is most places down south. So
Pop by the 62 and pick me up on the way.
I'll try my best. I'll try my very best, mate. Try and coincide it, definitely. It'd be
Yeah, that'd
amazing.
be cool. I've never been down there. You see, to Portland's. That'd be nice to experience. I've done. I actually managed to do. It's a bit off topic, but I did Gulliver's World, Warrington a couple of years ago.
See, actually, funny, we've still not done those, and I don't know how I've forgotten about those because I mean, we've obviously, we've got a child, so technically we'll be able to get in, no problem.
Yeah, you can get in.
But-
Like I had to go with my missus and she's got a little brother, so we took him and he really enjoyed it. And we were doing Hate Me or Not, guys, but We're on a Log Flume by Rob Alvey should be Christmas number one.
Oh, dear.
Because I don't know, Jaden, he's called Jaden. He was a bit scared at first, but then when we started singing and being idiots, it was literally idiots, and I mean, 'cause he's an idiot, not Jaden, Rob Alvey. So it was fun in the end. It was fun.
Definitely. So the second question then that Michael had for us was, will Cedar Point break 500 in 2021? Now, by this, we assume you mean sort of 500 feet. So,
I
mean,
imagine
what's
so.
your thought? Yeah, I mean, what do you think to that, Wolf? What's your point?
I honestly, I think that it could happen. I mean, maybe one of those polar coasters or something. I mean, if they're worried about space, with how much space it'll take up. But I could see it happening. It seems like Cedar Point does a lot of those like different really big attractions, and being that they're known as one of the bigger coaster parks and known for what they can bring there and big attractions. So I could see it happening.
Definitely.
Would
And I
they?
mean,
No, okay, go on. I don't mean to cut you off.
no, it's in fact, actually, it's fine. Go ahead, mate. It's all
So, would you rather see it at Paramount? That's my question to you, Joe.
Paramount, sorry. I think, to be honest, actually, I could, yeah. I mean, it could possibly be quite a good fit for the park. I mean, it'd be something very unique for the UK. That's absolutely, definite.
It would be huge.
It would. It'd be absolutely massive, and obviously, it would be a big drawing point for visitors as well. But then, I suppose, when you kind of look at the sort of designs they've released, I don't know, would something like that really fit in with that kind of sort of feel?
I mean,
it's a tough one, really.
The way Wolf was describing a polar coaster, it feels like Florida are gonna, do that. They're doing that anyway, aren't they? Has that planning permission gone through for that ride?
I thought it did, but I mean, you kind of really don't hear much about it anymore.
No, because
so
we heard that Merlin put a wheel, an observation wheel in Florida, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that's where the polar coaster was supposed to be, right? Round that area. International Drive,
so.
Is it? Is that what it's called?
I believe so, yeah. I'm not too up on the news of that, but
no, I'm not, to be honest with you. But I've not heard anything about that for a while.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Was that supposed to be SNS? Was it SNS or was it?
I am not sure. I thought I read somewhere that it was just like a bunch of different engineers working together on it. I think Alan Schilke was one of the people that were in it as well, but I could be wrong.
God save us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tip outs at 500 feet.
God no.
Well, there is one at the top of it there. Once, if you looked at the animation, there was a tip out almost immediately.
That's what I mean.
That'd be sheer scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was crazy design what we saw. I mean, I can't believe there used to be a roller coaster. I know it only just went round the Stratosphere in Las Vegas, but standing on the top of that thing, man, it's high. It's high. It's so high. I didn't go up this year, but when I went in 2017, I went up and it was at night time, and the Sky Shooter was closed because it was too windy, and the coaster that tips you out and tips you back in was closed as well because it was too windy. But standing up there was too windy. But it was the actual thought of going around that building that high up. I mean, I don't mind rides, but that's Oblivion, Oblivion times 20 times of intimidation in my eyes.
I think, to be honest with you, something like that for me would be far too much. I mean, I'm all right, as you say, with most rides, but something at that sheer scale would just scare the living daylights out of me.
Well,
to be honest with you.
And to be honest, it's a good thing because I hate the fact that unless it's a new ride or a new experience, I don't know how you guys feel. When I go to Alton Towers now, or when you go to Six Flags Wolf, like when I'm queuing up for a ride, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I know what to expect. I know what's going to happen. I know where this is going to happen. I know where the best airtime's going to be, so I'm going to throw my hands up in the air. And like a new ride is a totally different experience. Now,
especially if you don't.
That being said, do you think there's too many coasters in the UK and all over the world that have a one set gimmick where you ride it once and it kind of falls off when you ride it for the 20th time? Like you kind of get bored. Of it, and there's only so much that going through, flames on the Wicker Man or going through a hole in Oblivion gets you.
I in a sense I agree with that because I'm gonna go into just a little bit of an explanation here real fast if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course, yeah, go ahead, mate.
And around 9-10 years ago, I rode Raging Bull 23 times in a row because there was nobody there for opening day. Didn't have to get off. If anything, if I had to get off, I just had to switch to a different row that was open. So I got to ride, and after a while, it got to be where it's oh, okay. But now, in the last 2 years that I've been riding it, I've been noticing different things about the ride that I've never really noticed before.
Ah,
Wow.
I think I've mentioned once before on a different podcast somewhere that maybe it was on Coaster Gen, like where I feel like you get more airtime. Like now, like I love that pre-drop, like in back row. You basically just lift out of your seat. Like I feel like almost on every downward
wait, Wolf. Say it properly. Backseat yeet.
backseat seat. Yep.
That's what it is.
So like on like every
Follow.
downward element, even like the floater hill where people complain about the trims, I don't feel like those trims do much anymore. I mean, you get some nice like floater airtime. You're not gonna get no like RMC ejector airtime or anything like that, or
Yeah.
but you're gonna get some pretty good airtime. It's you floater, and it's nice. It's a good ride still, and it gets a lot of hate for something that's very different from all the other hypers out there.
Yeah. It's one of the. I know it's one of the older ones, but like you say, it's the layout packs a punch. Though it looks like it does anyway.
Yeah. So to answer
me.
your question, it does seem like that after a while they can get boring, but if you start looking for different things and kind of pay a little more attention to the layout, you may find something different about it that maybe you didn't quite notice before.
And that's a fantastic point. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, sort of going back to you said sort of one-trick gimmicks. I mean, Oblivion very much, has that feel. You drop down that first drop and that's it. It's done. I mean, Smiler for me, even though it's got 14 loops, every time without fail, I still go on that ride. I still love every minute of
I
it,
love
and I
it.
still come off with a massive smile on my face.
Oh.
And I know exactly. Yeah, one pun. But in terms of that, it's just it's an all-round great coaster, and I know that's quite controversial in the fact that it's really one of them that you either love it or you hate it. Some people say it's too rough, other people
I don't
absolutely
see
love
that.
it.
I don't see that.
I don't see
I
that
don't
at
see
all.
how it's rough. I mean, come on, guys.
No.
Look at that. Look at John Wadley had an area, and then they took more area off him where he could actually design that ride, and
Exactly.
well, the profile of the
It's
ride
a
anyway.
solid. It's really solid.
It's
The
fantastic.
layout. I mean, I know it's crammed with inversions, but you get a little bit of a breather from them with those air moments. Just in between.
Those just speaking from experience, Wolf. Those airtime hills are absolutely phenomenal.
Oh, the second one's amazing.
It really is. You hit that with some speed, you get some serious ejector as you
It
go.
feels like a double down, Wolf,
It really does.
because you
Yeah,
come
it's
off
awesome.
the half loop down, and then you literally hit straight into the transition of the airtime hill. So it kind of feels like you don't even reach the bottom of the hill before you go back up and then down again. So you actually go lower into the pit towards the Cobra Roll, and
You do.
it's so much like on the back row. I mean, it doesn't really make that much difference on that ride because it's only got is it 4 trains, yeah, four cars. So it's it doesn't really make a difference where you sit on that ride. I have to
No, it
admit that
doesn't.
on the left and the right, if you get on the left and the right, it can be. But the only reason is because the transitions are so short, so it throws you into it and it throws you out of it. But it has to do that because it's only got so much space.
Well, it does, and that's the way the track's been profiled to be, as you say, sort of crammed into that little area. They had to think about those transitions, and obviously it has to be short and snappy to be able to do what it does. But I mean, overall, something like that coaster in itself is just phenomenal. So I think, there are some out there that are kind of, one-trick ponies, and you sort of get used to riding them over and over. But then there's still other ones that you could ride time and time again, like the Smiler, and obviously, you're still going to love every minute of it, from my personal opinion,
No,
of course.
I totally agree with that statement. I love the Smiler. It's one of them rides where I don't mind queuing for it. Like,
No, I'm exactly the same.
Because you get the airtime pop out of the station into the barrel roll out. Up the lift hill, you get a little breather from everything that's been going on, and you get shouted at by someone who's laughing at you. And then you go up the lift hill, and you hit that inverted drop is just something else. It really is.
Oh, it's incredible.
I love it.
It really is.
I was just thinking too. Another thing that kind of changed the gimmick of a ride too is with other rides around it that may have a chance to interact.
Yeah.
Mm.
And again, I'm kind of thinking Max Force, Whizzer, and Raging Bull, all three together. I know riding Whizzer this year was a completely different experience, knowing that Max Force was just around the corner. You know.
Yeah.
So that's quite fun. In fact, we actually watched the train on Max Force the entire time, hoping that we were gonna line up with it. It was pretty cool. So
Nice.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to stick with one topic, but another ride like that can have some interaction really does change the feel of another ride too. You know what I mean? Like you're hoping for that two-train interaction thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Blackpool for us is a great sort of
Oh yeah,
example of that, isn't it? Because
Icon.
obviously you've got Icon going directly underneath the lift hill for the big one, which if you hit that right as you're going over the sort of the crest of that first sort of top hat on Icon, you can obviously pass the riders going up the big one.
Icon is built for Instagram.
Oh yeah, I've got any shadow over that whatsoever. It's just a picture perfect ride. It really is.
And the big
So
one was built for Instagram before Instagram even existed.
Exactly.
Mother.
Back in good old '94.
It's true. I mean, you can take a picture from anywhere in that town and you'll see the big one.
Oh, literally.
And
It's
that's why I
part of-
said in
part
the
of
last
skyline.
podcast, it ain't going anywhere.
Nah.
No way. They've
Definitely
retracked
no
some of it
chance.
as well this year. You know that, right? In the off season, they've retracked. I believe it's after the second, in quotations, airtime
It is.
hill,
It is.
and then
Yeah, I think-
where it
I
bottoms
think
out.
I-
They've changed some of the track there. They've pulled it off and put some new track back in. I believe that's what Pleasure Beach Experience have been reporting anyway. And there's been some videos on YouTube, so make sure you go and check them out, guys. And, you know,
Definitely, yeah. I mean, that particular area is sort of pretty much where the Boulevard's car park actually is.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you go into the car park and you are local and want to see that, if you just go around the back to where the entrance to the hotel is,
oh, of course.
you'll be able to obviously see that section where they've retracked. But I think to be honest, that's something that's needed doing for quite a fair while. So hopefully that's going to improve on the experience, as we go into 2020.
So Wolf, what was you gonna say?
I kind of lost my train of thought with what I was going with.
About
I
the track.
apologize.
About the track.
About the track with. Oh yeah, I thought I saw that. I think it was either you or myself. One of us shared something about it getting free tracked on Coaster Gen as well.
So I want to know is where they've got the track from.
I'd like to know that.
Where have they got it from? If it's fresh track, please don't tell me it's from Valhalla, because there is a big one. There is big one track inside Valhalla's like steel girding inside the thing. There's a picture on Google of.
Do you happen to have like one of those like steel like factories or something like around there that maybe they could have had some
Not now.
fabricated?
I don't think there's fabricated now for that kind of thing. But there might be. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, in the comments. But I don't know. And if you do know where it came from, then comment below and let us know.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
wasn't there a factory over in Bolton that made the steel for the coaster and the track itself
know what?
originally?
It is. Yeah, that's on Where
Yeah.
Seagulls Dare, isn't it? The documentary.
Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So maybe they got it from there. You know what? I might find out if that still exists, that factory, and ring them and go, did you supply the track for the big one? Interested to know.
Definitely.
And
It'd be good to find out, wouldn't it?
Mm.
So, anyway, thank you very much, Michael, for your question. We do apologise. I should have said that sooner. But that was that's basically that was all that. So
Good topic.
indeed,
Yeah.
definitely.
So I would like for my short answer for that, I would like it to happen in the UK, not in the States, because you guys over there, Wolf, you've got too many things, dude.
There's a lot around
I
here.
agree
I
with
mean,
that.
being that I'm in the Midwest, there's quite a bit around me, and the further, either side of, of the states, you can go and get some amazing rides, and which I didn't mention earlier about when we were talking about new stuff for 2020. Orion, I didn't get a chance to bring that one up.
Break
man,
on the
that-
ride.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Especially
somebody
that
was-
last section.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody will probably be upset with me that I didn't bring it up and I talked about Jersey Devil instead. But I wanted to bring it up so someone doesn't want to like come and message me later and be like, "Why didn't you bring up Orion?"
You didn't mention Orion. Damn
You
you!
have them now. The galaxies on Orion's belt. I always remember that from Men in Black.
Oh, I love that film. Really do. Not so much the new one though, but definitely the original.
I haven't seen the new one. I have to check that out.
Yeah, it's all right.
But anyway,
That was a really good question and good topic.
it was, yeah, it was a good topic. We rambled on for
Absolutely.
about 20 minutes about that. So,
Some good coverage there.
we want to speak about what could possibly happen at Fort Park.
We do. So, in the last sort of podcast, we briefly, I think, touched on it. I think, obviously, the main thing is that a lot of people out there are saying, it could be an RMC coming to Fort Park. Other people are looking at a B&M Hyper. If you just, for a moment, take into account that, obviously, when they built the brand new Wicker Man over at Alton Towers, it's possible that they made a deal with GCI. Now, GCI have obviously just released that brand new profile track, which is the steel track. Therefore, could we see some? I know, exactly, yeah. Could it be that we're going to be seeing maybe the world's first inverting GCI coaster coming to Fort Park? Now, that's quite an interesting one, really, I think, and it would be an interesting move for the park as well. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Luke?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf, but is there a GCI coaster that inverts in the States? Is it GCI or is it not GCI? The one Hades.
I don't think Hades is Gravity Group, and
No,
that
it's not
what's the
GCI.
what's the other ride that just opened up at one of those smaller parks not too long ago? I forgot what it was.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, but I can't.
Yeah, Hades and
There's
the
another
other one.
Yeah.
Some inversions as well, but I don't think there's any GCIs that invert. I do know, not to change my topic, but I know Intamin. I want to say Intamin's also come up with like that somewhat that iBox track similar to what I think it was Intamin. Is that what you're kind of talking about too? Is that what you're thinking?
No, it's Great Coasters.
It's them. Okay.
Yeah, this is what
I
Joe
thought
was
it
touching on then. Do you think that
Okay.
Fort Park could get the first inverted? So almost like the IRC of GCI.
I mean, it sounds like that would be a good place to do that, being if they're working with GCI quite often. Yeah, I could see that happening. It could be a thing that could happen. Although, maybe even a B&M could be a thing, but I think the GCI thing, I really like that idea. That's something really different for them, and a good way to kind of get their foot in the door with this new concept.
Definitely. And I think after the sort of time that it's taken them, obviously the last investment they made was a Swan.
Yeah.
Back and forth. I think for the park themselves, it'd be a really good way to kind of come back from that long break between investments and really showcase something brand new and, almost in a way, kind of a world's first, really. With that sort of concept. I mean, obviously, it's not the world's first inverting wooden coaster or sort of hybrid. However, it's a world's first GCI, hybrid, which obviously would be quite a big deal for the park. So
Merlin Luther world's first.
Indeed, classic sort of like sort of go to.
Yeah.
Do you know if Thorpe Park has like a good relationship with GCI, like maybe like it was like getting certain concepts or like new ideas, like anything innovative?
Yeah. So Wolf, if you don't know, Fort Park is part of Merlin, and Alton Towers is part of Merlin. So what Joe was speculating is that you have a contract that was drawn up with Merlin, with GCI originally, saying that we'll give you one coaster at Alton Towers if you buy another one for Fort Park, sort of thing. So it's kind of like a deal package.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's probably where, in terms of a relationship, comes from. Now, the time has passed from the Wicker Man and what could be newer, if it was a GCI. So the innovation that's come along in that time has changed. So obviously the layout could change, the profile could change, everything can change with the ride. And
exactly.
it might even take them an extra year or 2 years, but it could happen. It could
Definitely.
happen. But they've had wooden coasters planned in the past, right? Have you seen them?
I believe that they have. I mean, obviously there was originally a wooden coaster planned for the site of the Swarm.
Oh, the Swarm. Or was it Saw?
Oh no, sorry. No, it was Saw. Right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
It was Saw the ride. Now, obviously, that got scrapped and it never actually went ahead. And then obviously they built Saw the ride instead. Mm-hmm. So the fact they've already made that decision in the past to kind of look at that type of coaster.
Yeah.
Could that possibly suggest that we'll be seeing that, sort of at some point in the future? And with the extra space they now have for another coaster, which is currently unoccupied, I think that would be sort of a good size space for a decent layout, definitely.
I'd say so. And it would give the landscape something back at Fort Park, because it hasn't had anything new for,
No, it hasn't.
Like the background of the park, like on the t-shirt merches and stuff. You could buy a t-shirt today and it'd still be the same as it was 5 years ago.
Exactly.
Which is not good. Like, if you think about it that way, it's not. It's backwards. There'd be an extra square, which would be Darren Brown's Ghost.
Imagine that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, and an Angry Birds, thing put on there. But other than that, there's nothing been added to the skyline. Nothing.
No, there hasn't. And obviously, the main iconic coaster, which still features to this day on on their T-shirts ever since it opened in 2006, is Stealth.
Yeah.
They're still using that as their premier sort of focal point.
Yeah.
So I think should they invest in this new coaster, and if it is a wooden coaster, that's going to really, as you said, add something to that skyline and give that park yet another unique feel as well. From a distance. So
I would say so. But I mean, the only issue that I have, and I work for a big company myself, so I know that things take a long time when there's a lot of people involved. But are they going to go with it after the teething problems of the Wicker Man?
that is a good question. Definitely.
Because it's still struggling now.
Mm.
And
I mean,
our weather is not getting any better over here.
No, it really isn't. It's just getting worse and worse, to be honest with
And
you.
if them sea levels keep rising, there ain't going to be a Fort Park very long. So, I mean,
Well, according to that, there's not going to be a Blackpool either. If you look
No.
at the current projected flipping sea level rising, apparently that's supposed to wipe off that whole part of the country. So,
it's insane.
which isn't good.
No.
Anyway.
Wow.
But in the meantime, let's build a wooden coaster, right?
Right.
Well, at least it'll float.
Yeah.
You know.
At least one floats.
Turn it into an arc. We'll
Yeah.
be all right.
Yeah, we'll be fine. We'll be like Leonardo DiCaprio at the end of Titanic floating around.
Well, at least the door stayed flowing, didn't it? The rest of it went down, but there we go.
Yeah.
I mean, just anyway, sort of going back to that topic. I mean, in the comments, guys, as well, for those that are listening, let us know exactly kind of what you think is going to happen in terms of Fort Park's future. We'll be interested to find out your sort of thoughts on the next investment. I mean, obviously, there are those two popular choices which we've already touched on, but is there anything else that could possibly come to Fort Park that would obviously fit that profile of sort of the sort of skyline as well? We'd love to know your thoughts on that, guys. So definitely let us know in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. And any other ride suggestions you have as well for us at CoasterGen, let us know what you want to see on our channel. If you want to see us to build the biggest RMC you can think of, another Giga of some kind, let us know. But speaking about No Limits,
Indeed.
now then, segue. Wolf, go on. You can have this one. I'll let you take the lead on this one.
Okay, well, we know that No Limits has put out that the RMC hybrid, just hybrid update is looking to. It was supposed to be coming out by Christmas, or at least that was the projected timeline. Now, yesterday I saw something about them saying somewhere along the lines of January 10th.
Mm-hmm.
However, I kind of took that with a grain of salt, because it feels like it would be a spoiled Christmas gift if they were to say, yeah, it's indeed coming out by Christmas. So tell us January 10th and then surprise us with December 25th, Christmas Day, or even Christmas Eve hybrid update. That would be pretty cool.
That'd be awesome.
Either way, it's coming, so that's good. And they at least they finally had said that it's coming, rather than just using the "rate my cat" joke for a very long time.
Did you know about that joke, by the way?
I didn't know.
Oh.
I'm not too familiar with No
Do you
Limits.
want to tell Joe about what they've been doing with that?
Yeah, they kept doing a "rate my cat." They said it was a "rate my cat" app, and they would put pictures up of cats. So some other people in the community have taken the joke and ran with it, and then were like, "Oh, rate my cat," and put a picture up of their own cat. So it was one of those things that kind of took off. It was really funny.
Yeah.
But it was definitely played. That card was played for a long time, and then they kind of would be like, "What's an RMC?" So the devs would be like, Ride Up, for example, would be like, "What's an RMC? Never heard of it before." But he has Ride Up has a RMC wheel, and it looks like a No Limits RMC wheel.
Yeah.
From the train as his profile picture. So it's like, okay. So they're doing little hints here and there, and then they finally acknowledge that it is coming.
That's good.
One of the things that people are asking too is if the auto support generator is going to be updated where it will support inversions and very steep turns, because right now it does not.
No.
So my guess is that it will. I don't see why that they would put something out that wouldn't. And just a slight say that Planet Coaster got it to work, so I'm definitely thinking that No Limits can definitely get it done as well.
Yeah.
It is possible. At least I think it is.
It has
I mean,
to be.
if you're going to build an RMC, that's kind of like a key key factor, isn't it, in terms of the layout, sort of that style of track.
And the visual impact of it as well.
Mm,
Yeah.
You need to have that big box, going over the lift hill. Like, look at
Yeah.
Ayaguazi, for example. I saw a picture of that before, and the radius on that first hill looks incredible. Airtime on that backseat, yeet on that backseat, seriously.
Yeah.
It's going to throw you so far out your seat.
You're going to get absolutely whipped over that first drop,
Yeah,
you really are.
definitely. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so you think this is going to happen?
Yeah, I definitely think that it'll happen.
Now, correct me if I'm
Uh,
wrong. Is January 10th the anniversary of 6 years?
That is correct. I have a good friend that has been suggesting an update on the anniversary date for like at least the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah, Hyper Rush Productions. He was like, "Oh yeah, anniversary." I'm like, "One of these times you're gonna be right. One of these times you're going to be right. I just don't know when it's gonna be, but you're gonna be right because you keep using it." I'm like, I keep thinking Christmas because that's usually when we got the Wing Rider update, a
True.
few years ago or so.
Yeah.
So my guess is that they're gonna surprise us with it, like how they did with the Wing Coaster, but we'll see. I mean, he very well could be right, and it could be January 10th. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, not too
Mm.
far away, but just a little bit longer. Just gotta hang tight. I really look forward to it, though. If you look at my channel, I have a ton of different RMC coasters, and I've done a few with you, Luke,
Yep.
as well.
We have
Um,
indeed.
I think my last RMC that I did on my channel was the Giga RMC,
Hmm.
and I got some backlash for the supports, but I kind of what could be done with No Limits,
Yeah.
and so yeah. But it's a massive ride. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I have a whole playlist of RMCs.
I'll definitely have to check those out and have a look at those, actually, mate. I've just subscribed to your channel again. Well, not again, for the first time recently. So I've been sort of making my way through some of those layouts you build. Just to let you know, are just absolutely amazing. They really are. So keep up the
thank
great
you.
work, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank
you're very
you.
welcome.
Much appreciated.
Not a problem.
So, okay, are we done with No Limits?
Almost. We
Okay.
forgot something.
Go on.
What did we
Oh!
just do yesterday?
Damn. So, finally, it's happened. Me and Wolf have been teasing for months on end now, during our live streams and during live streams on Wolf's channel, that we're going to finally do some No Limits 2 tutorials. And I'm happy and I'm proud to say they're being recorded right now. As we speak, we have 3 episodes recorded, and we're hoping to get the first one out very soon. We don't know exactly the specific date, but it's coming out soon. But make sure you subscribe to both of our channels, because we're going to bounce them off each other's channels so we can get more exposure for each channel. Yada yada. That's how you collab, guys.
Definitely.
We would definitely, give you an exact date for the first one, but we don't know for sure. It just depends on how everything, goes with getting everything out and who's busy with editing and everything else. So, but the first tutorial, do you want to say what the first tutorial is going to be? Somewhat to expect?
Yeah. So the first tutorial is basically you buy it off Steam, and so sorry, this is what would happen with you if you was going to follow along. It would be you buy it off Steam and you'd open No Limits. And what is No Limits? What do the menus mean? How can we optimize the performance for you if you're running on an older machine, and how can we make your experience better on a better machine that's a more modern machine, like a Ryzen series or an Intel i9, for example. So I'm gonna try and cover as many performance aspects as I can and give you guys an insight into how to export video to the best quality, and not so best quality but good enough for YouTube so people can enjoy the experience. And then with tutorial number 2, we are gonna start to build. And then from them onwards, it's going to be everything that we mentioned in the tutorials, we'll be making tutorials for. So it's tutorials.
Yeah, we don't know how many there's going to be exactly.
No.
I think it just depends on what we can cover. And if there's more questions like on something and maybe we didn't cover it enough in the tutorial, maybe we could either do like a Q&A live stream kind of thing and just kind of straight in it, or we could do another recording and put it out that way.
Yeah, we could do. I mean, doing a Q&A would actually be pretty cool, because and if we did it as a separate video, an edited video, so we can get out the person who has asked the question, and then I can be like, right, okay, so
Yeah,
Wolf,
kind
we've
of like
got a
what
question.
you do with the
Yeah,
with the podcast, kind of how you ask people questions for the podcast, and
Yeah.
then you go ahead and yeah, it's
Exactly.
perfect. I think that'll work. So if you're listening and you're interested in this tutorial thing, that's probably what we're gonna do. So
Mhm.
just look out for those as
Yeah.
well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Just one last thing then. So recently, we had a guy named Jack Warby get in touch with us.
Yep.
Now I believe he's also got in touch with you as well, Luke.
He has, yeah.
And it's regarding basically what he's planning to do is on June 6th of next year, down at Alton Towers, he's running quite a unique event. Now it's called Ride Your Fears Away. The premise being that he's basically encouraging as many people as possible to come down to the park on that date, meet up outside the Frog Pound on Main Street, and then the idea is that you'll basically ride the roller coasters in order to overcome your fear of riding roller coasters. Now, I believe he's actually done this himself. He's actually already gone onto park and had solo rides on both Rita and 13, and obviously sort of kind of conquered that fear for himself. Now, having chatted with him, he's loved every minute of it. There's also press coverage at the moment on the Milton Keynes. I think one of the newspapers there as well. He's actually been interviewed by them.
Yep.
So it's really wanting to get the awareness of this out, guys. If it is something that you do sort of struggle with in terms of overcoming that fear, sort of building up, sort of the confidence to be able to do that, we absolutely 100% encourage you to go down on the 6th of June if you can make it. Join him on park, and as a group, collaboratory, sort of come together and do that. Us here at Theme Park Insanity, we're definitely planning to be down there on the day to try and obviously support, sort of show our support and obviously kind of cover that event as well.
Yep.
But it's an amazing thing for him to do, and I think in a way it's kind of groundbreaking as well. So from our perspective here, we're definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Lou? What do you think?
I think it's a great idea. I spent the first 5-6 years of my enthusiast life, if you will, not actually riding coasters. Roller Coaster Tycoon, watching the rides when we go to the parks, not having the time, going to parks as a kid was not really a thing unless we went to Blackpool, and
Yeah.
but I gotta say, the first time I got a Nemesis and I got off it, I was hooked. So, it literally takes one ride, guys. And if you can do that one ride, you don't have to do everything that's the biggest, the fastest. Just do what you're comfortable with, and eventually
Exactly.
you'll build up to the bigger rides. And with the bigger rides comes more adrenaline, comes more excitement, and that's the whole point of these rides, guys. These rides
Definitely.
are fear machines. They're supposed to make you scared. They're supposed to entertain you. They're supposed to give you an emotion. An emotional response is probably the best thing you can ever get from designing a ride. So if Wolf
Absolutely.
designed a ride on No Limits and people were like, "Damn, that thing's massive," and it would be like, "Yep, if you want to get on and check it out because it's a big drop." And then once you go over it, hands in the air, you're gone, and
Oh yeah,
and that's it. Then you're hooked. So guys, give it a go. Go down to this event.
definitely.
If you don't like riding rides, there'll be people there who don't like riding rides as well. And this is the whole point of what Jack's trying to get across, is that there are people out there who, it's a fantastic community of enthusiasts, and there's people out there who just don't ride rides because they feel like they can't do it. They get too scared when they get up to a certain point. If you do that first ride, guys, from experience, from someone who didn't ride rides a lot when I was a kid, so now I can't get off the damn things. Get
I'm
on,
exactly the same.
do it, and you're hooked. And that's it.
Yeah.
So everything you're
Yeah.
passionate about, the theme parks, the industry, will all come together as one package, and you'll absolutely enjoy the rest of being an enthusiast. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, do you sort of, Wolf? Do you have anything like that out in the sort of the States at all? Is that thing over there?
Like something like you could do, like if you like somewhere you could go, like even if you don't like the rides, like still enjoy like the day. Is that what you're asking? I'm a little confused. That's why
Yeah,
I'm just...
I mean, sort of in terms of this kind of idea of obviously to sort of overcome the fear of riding them. Is that something that's kind of out in the States? Always are people doing that over there, or is this kind of a new thing overall? You think?
Yeah, I would say it happens here too. Yeah, you just kind of have to build up to them. It's
Yeah.
I know it definitely, Great America's my home park, so like there's little rides there that you could start off with and then kind of work your way up. At least that's what happened with me.
Yeah.
2004 was my first time I ever gone to Great America, and I only rode the Demon because I wasn't very tall then. So I got to ride the Demon, and then as I got a little about a few years later, I finally got a season pass, and I started with like Whizzer, Viper, and I worked my way up to Eagle, and finally got to Bull and all the other fun stuff. So I it just took me a little time, but I had a good
Yeah.
cousin that was willing to work with me and get me on those rides, and now I can't get off of them either.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared of anything anymore. I'm just like, hey, I'm gonna ride it.
So I have a really interesting story. The first time I went on the roller coaster at Blackpool, which was now the Nickelodeon Streak,
Yeah.
my dad bribed me with this blaster gun that was on sale. I think I've spoken about this on Coaster Gen before, and he was like, "If you ride it, I'll get you this blaster." And it was like this amazing Star Wars thing that it was just like incredible. I think it was like £30, and back in the 90s, £30 was quite a bit of money for a toy. So
It was.
I was like, right, you know what? I'm going to do it. So we got on, and unbeknown to me, it was the last ride of the night. So the guy didn't activate the brakes at the end, and we went round twice. So,
Wow.
so I got 2 blasters. No, I'm only kidding. I got I got one, but it was a shock because even my dad was like, he's not put the brakes on. What's he doing? Oh, we're not lifted again. Guess we're going round again. I was like, what?
It's a twofer.
It's a nice little anecdote there. So yeah, that was an experience. And then
mean-
the first time I read the big one, it was we got to the top of the hill and it started hailstoning. So
Oh,
Painful.
to ask about that 2 times around, did you enjoy it the second time?
I enjoyed it more.
I thought so. Instead of having to wait in line for it again, you just get to go again. Now you know you like it.
But the Nickelodeon Streak, Joe, have you been on it?
I have, yeah. It's an absolutely fantastic wooden coaster.
There's so much
It really
airtime on
is.
that thing.
I know as you go over those bunny hills, it's
There's
just absolutely amazing.
so much airtime on Nickelodeon Streak, guys. If you go to Blackpool and you think, oh, it's Nickelodeon Land, it's for kids, get on the Nickelodeon Streak, get on
Nah.
the back row.
Yeah.
That thing is rickety and full of airtime. I reckon it's got more airtime than the Big Dipper.
I think, to be honest with you, I think your bum's going to leave your seat more times on than it probably does on Nash. And to be honest with you,
Yeah.
that's quite a feat, really. Actually,
Yeah, it is, and it's because basically it's just lift hill, turn around, drop, drop,
Yep.
drop, drop, bigger drop, turn around, drop, 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 tunnel. Well, does it have a tunnel anymore? Used to have a tunnel, and then brake run.
Yeah. I think there's something like that actually, but it still doesn't take away from the experience whatsoever.
no, it's just full of. Wolf, I'll show it you later. I'll show you a POV of it. It's a really fun ride. It's a great ride, and that'd be a good one, guys. Actually, if you was ever going to go to Blackpool and you think, oh, the big one's a bit too much, or the Big Dipper, it's a bit too much, the Grand National's a bit too much, get on the Nickelodeon Streak. It's a really good introductory ride that's full of airtime and moments of lateral G-force and excitement as well. And it's quite quick. You'd be surprised once you get on that thing. It's quite quick. It looks slow, but when you're on it, it's quick. Like Icon. Icon looks slow, but when you're on it, it's rapid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That thing's just
Yeah,
deceptive.
I think everything looks a bit slower when you're looking like, unless it's like one of those like accelerators, like rides, like like one of those ones that pick up like a lot of speed quickly.
Yeah.
They really
Yeah.
don't look that fast till you're on it. You're like, oh wow, this is a lot quicker than I expected.
Max Force, I bet's like that.
Yes,
Mm.
yeah, you could tell the launch is quick, but then when you get on it, you could just feel yourself being pressed into your seat on the launch. It's really smooth. So I know some people are like, oh, it's short, all this and that. It's a really smooth ride. The launch is awesome and it is quick. Believe it or not, it is fast.
How fast is it?
I want to say I think it's 78 miles per hour if I remember right.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
and I
some-
think
that's
it's
some
under
serious
it's
speed.
under 2 seconds. I want to say it's under 2 seconds. I think it's like 1.8
Jeez.
seconds.
It's like a Tesla.
Yeah, it's quick. It's really quick, and
Gotta-
you hear the fins drop, and then you're like, okay, and then it's just you're off.
That's incredible.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's cool.
stealth was it 0 to 80 in 1.9 seconds? So
Yeah.
that's quite an incredible launch as well.
It is, but it doesn't feel like that because the track run up to the actual top hat is quite, in my opinion, it's quite long. It's drawn out a bit. It could shoot and go like Accelerated. Does that a bit more.
Yeah.
Stealth to me is, I just go on it for the views. And
You're not looking
the
forward to
same
going
at
down
PA
next year,
as
to be
well
honest,
with the
so.
what's it called? Formula. No, it's not Formula. It's Red Force One. that what it's called?
Hmm. Oh, Red Force, Ferrari World. Yeah.
Yes. Not Red Force one. Yeah, it's that's good.
Sorry.
That's different. The best bit, believe it or not, is the airtime into the brake run. Runs flat and then shoots up and then runs flat again. It's a strange one. I don't know if you've seen a POV of it, but check one out after we've recorded this. It's a cool one.
It does look incredibly good.
But yeah, the launch is it's okay. I was surprised by the El Loco in Las Vegas, how much airtime that thing had.
El Locos are amazing. I've only been on one, but they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I know Steel Hog has some nice airtime, like even like going into the that mid course before the downward barrel roll kind of thing. That's pretty fun.
Is that a clone of
Yeah,
Mumbo
Locos are-
Jumbo?
It is,
Actually,
yes.
no, it's not.
Oh,
it's
it's not.
actually the original. The Mumbo Jumbo is the clone.
Ah, okay, take that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to get you on that one, Luke, next when we go
Yes.
to Flamingo Land next
Because I've
year.
never been Flamingo Land. My parents say you've been numerous times, and I'm like,
Can't remember it.
You were just
We're
young,
going next
yeah.
year, mate. Trust me.
yeah, going. I can't wait to get on it. I can't wait for backseat on the new ride. That looks so much fun. I keep watching
really
the
does.
POV from Italy, and it's like, oh, it just looks like so.
Voltaire.
Yeah, I mean, Wolf helped a lot with the video that we did on No Limits. With
Yeah.
basically he did the full thing. I just put the cable lift on it and the scenery around it. But it was
Yeah,
that was how was that to recreate? Was that easy or?
kinda. I don't think it was too bad. I had an overlay as well. I don't remember if you got it for me or if I got it. I don't remember which
Oh
one
yeah,
we did.
yeah,
We had
did.
an overlay, and those corkscrews I think were the hardest because the way they're shaped, they kind of like toss you to the right.
Yeah.
The way they're not like the normal like roll. Like you kind of get like a 90-degree like toss to the right, and then you roll after. It's
Yes.
a little different. They're quite cool though. They're different.
Yeah, it is.
Looking forward to experiencing that in real life to actually see how those feel. Because I mean, obviously with the lap bars as well, you're going to get some incredibly good,
That's the best
sort of
thing.
like-
That's the best thing that because my experience with going upside down with lap bars goes as far as Icon. And
Well, yeah, mine too.
It's we said it in the
Yeah,
last
it
podcast, but there's nothing quite like that heartline roll.
Oh
and
no,
then
there isn't.
it's that double down into the launch. It's incredible.
I guess
It's
I've
hanging
been
out
on
your seat.
at least 3 different rides with lap bar inversions.
Ah,
Goliath, Max Force, and Hades 360.
oh yeah, you got on that. We mentioned that before. And it
Yeah,
wasn't-
Hades
yeah.
360 is awesome. The smoothest part of the ride is of course, the part where you go 360. That's the smoothest part. Everything else is like jittery and bumpy, but it's a good ride. It's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
So just
Trying to
touching. Sorry, Wolf.
That's okay.
Um,
Go ahead.
Cheers. Just touching on Flamingo Land briefly, actually. Just to let you know, for anybody that's actually following our construction updates,
Yep.
RCS have now finished on site as of the 17th of December, and they are due back on the 4th of January. So, throughout the Christmas period at the moment, I believe on site they're actually still kind of working on the sort of remaining foundations and footers for the turnaround, and also the sort of tunnels going in and out of the sort of Cobra Roll as well.
Nice.
So work is still ongoing on that side of things, but in terms of installation, there'll be nothing further until the 4th of January.
Okay.
And we believe there is an estimated completion date of the 20th of January as well.
Wow.
And
Track.
that was apparently confirmed by someone on the actual site itself. So
So is that
we'll see.
track? Is that the layout?
That's the layout, yeah. So
Right.
that's the installation of the track itself, yeah.
Is there any inkling of any kind of theming yet?
Nothing as of yet. We're looking. I've been speaking to a few people, and again, the only sort of popular rumour that does seem to still be going around is pirate theme. There is also obviously the Metropolis theme, which people are still touching on, but I mean, nothing officially confirmed as of yet.
Pirate theme would be
So-
cool.
Definitely would. And if you think of the proposed colour scheme for that coaster, that would
Yeah.
kind of fit as well.
It would look like pirating.
Look amazing.
Yeah, it would look
Um,
cool. It would look cool.
so yeah.
It's grey and black, right?
It is, yes.
yeah.
It's grey track and black supports, I believe.
It would that looked really nice. I hope they don't have the yellow. They don't have the yellow trains anymore. They have the green trains, right? The trains are green.
Well, apparently they've actually removed the bodies of the trains themselves in the workshops, and they've actually been sent away. So I believe they
Oh.
are actually going to be getting repainted. But I think the trains themselves are actually currently in bits anyways. They service everything and check everything prior to them running. So they're working, sort of as quickly and as hard as possible to make sure everything's safe, I believe.
Fantastic. That's cool.
Which is good. Nice one. Yep, so there you go.
Yeah, so anything anybody else wants to talk about? When are we going to release the next one? Because obviously we've got Christmas break coming up.
We have. So the next Thursday will obviously be Boxing Day. Ordinarily, we've released on a Friday after everything's been sort of like put together. So obviously that's going to be the 27th. So I mean, in terms of that, guys, it's down to you. I'm good to work around you.
So are you good to record on Boxing Day at night?
I'm happy to record on Boxing Day. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I might be able to, do that. But if not, guys, we'll let you know, and we'll let you know when we're putting out the podcast. Way ahead of time. There's no boat trip scheduled anymore, so I mean,
No.
we should be all good with that. Wolf, do you want to say anything?
My Vertigo's gone as well.
Wolf, do you want to say anything? Anything new that's coming to your channel other than the tutorials?
I don't think so. I have an Intamin that.
I know what you can talk about. The queue line you just released on Steam.
Yeah. It's nothing real fancy, but if you don't like making queues, you literally don't even have to use the concrete pad that I provide with it. It's on Steam and No Limit Central. Just download it, and then when you extract the package, just copy the file that says queue line or queue rails or something like that, and it says 10 meters. Just copy and paste it into your park file.
Yep.
And
awesome.
You'll be able to use them. I have an Intamin coaster that I'm working on. I posted on my community tab about an hour ago or so.
Right.
I don't think there's much else I need to bring up. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but
I think we should tease the fact that we have a massive project on the go right now.
We've teased it a little bit here and there on our community tab as well.
Yeah.
So,
how do you? It's gonna be amazing. So I'm not giving anything away.
Yeah,
but
it's kind of tough to tease without.
You need to expect the unexpected. That's all I'm gonna say.
Something that we have never done before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
It will definitely be awesome. So look out for it, because we're hoping to get it done before the end of the year, but we'll see.
Brilliant.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, guys. So I think that pretty much does it for this podcast. On behalf of Coaster I just want to say thank you very much for all the support this year. It's been incredible. You guys have taken us from 0 subscribers to 363 within a year, which is fantastic. It's phenomenal. I really appreciate it. And that's all basically through multimedia content. It's not even from park vlogs and stuff like that. So there's more of that coming. There's going to be a park vlog every month in the open season. One, maybe 2 at least every month, actual on park vlogs. And hopefully they'll include Joe. And maybe
I'll certainly be there as often as possible, yeah.
And in the future, hopefully we can get Wolf. And when we get over to Six Flags, that would be like phenomenal. That would be amazing.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention one thing.
Okay.
I have my own Discord now.
Oh, you're moving up in the
I knew I was forgetting something. You could join that. I have the link for the server in my on my YouTube, and I think I have it somewhere on Facebook and Twitter as well.
We'll put it in the description for the podcast. We'll put it in there. We'll make sure it's in there.
All right.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew I was forgetting something. I was like, I'm forgetting.
It's because that bots keep talking to you.
That's right. They are. They keep telling me I keep leveling up.
GG, you reached level 2. Awesome.
Awesome.
Joe, anything you want to mention?
Yeah, I mean, from myself here at Theme Park Insanity and to everybody that's listening, getting us from sort of 0 subscribers not subscribers, likes, when we originally set up in July to where we are now. We're just bypassed the 800 mark. Thank you guys so much for that. Your
That's
support
amazing.
has been absolutely phenomenal. a massive thank you to both, sort of Coastal Gen and Wolf as well for your support and obviously for
you're welcome.
sort of working with us.
Absolutely.
And we can't wait to see what 2020 brings. We've got so much planned. I just released a rough schedule, what I'm expecting to do trip-wise, sort of for the first part of the year. That is still subject to change, but we do have a lot more planned than what I've actually put out there. And what I do also plan to do is, I'll try and be doing some joint trips, sort of with Coastal Gen as well. Or at least, a good couple of meetups, and one of those will definitely be Blackpool. I can absolutely guarantee that.
Yeah.
So just, from myself, massive thank you, and we just hope you have an amazing Christmas, basically.
Yeah.
We really do.
Yeah.
Happy Christmas,
So,
guys.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
And we'll see you either after Christmas or in the next decade, 2020.
Indeed.
And we'll be here to give you the news and keep you in the loop every week. So I've been Coastal Gen Luke, he's been Wolf Origin 95, and he's been
And
Joe.
I've been Joe from Theme Park Insanity.
And there you
Thank
go.
you for
Fantastic
having
Christmas,
me.
guys.
Yeah.
Catch you later, guys. See you in the next
See
one.
you later.
Bye.
Bye.